It was an all-Kawasaki show at the last round of Pan Am Grand National Cross Country Racing. Jimmy Jarrett and Paul Whibley pulled away from the field and battled with each other, while championship rival Josh Strang was left in third. With another win, Whibley takes the points lead back, heading into the toughest race of the year.
Playing in the dirt, face full of mud, sacrificing flesh and blood. Playing in the dirt, digging in the ground. Oh, now I'm asking you, where you gonna be when it all goes down, 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 down?
Well, hello everyone, and welcome once again to Racer TV and coverage of the 2009 Pan Am Grand National Cross Country Series. Jason Wygant here, fired up because this is the most unique off-road race in all the world. Round 9 is our Snowshoe GNCC, brought to you by MotorcycleUSA.com. Here's what's on the line. A, we're racing at a ski resort. That means steeper hills and a much bigger racetrack than any other event this year. B, we have a huge cash purse, $50,000 total, $10,000 of which will go directly to the overall winner of today's motorcycle race. And the course and the purse money have brought this guy, David Knight, our GNCC champion, back into competition. Knight has not raced in the United States this year. He was thought to be home and set to race in Europe, but he wants to come back to win the money and win the big race at Snowshoe. That's a lot to get excited about. Let's talk to some of our top riders, including the Knighter himself, before we go racing.
Yeah, obviously it'd be nice to win $10,000, but no, just this race is always pretty, it's a bit different to the other GNCC, and what's happened with me and BMW and stuff. I can come and ride what I want really, so no, it's pretty good to come back and see everyone and hope we have a good race.
Right now the points are definitely more important. Yesterday hearing the quad guys talk, they said it's a survival race, not a race, so that's what I'm looking forward to do, get to the finish and get some valuable points, and if I win, and the 10 Gs is definitely going to be a bonus, and I won't complain about it. It should be good. There's been no rain, so it's a little bit dusty, and the woods are naturally wet back here, and so yeah, I'm just going to follow some guys and get some lines, and hopefully towards the end can be at the front.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to a good race today. I'm not thinking too much about the money that's on the line. It's pretty awesome that the Racer Productions have put this kind of money up for grabs at this race, but I'm looking for the points that are available, like the 30 points, getting the win, and trying to move a few more points clear in the lead of the championship, and hopefully stay there for the rest of the season and get the championship.
Okay, there's one more unique element to this race that you're about to see, and that's the start. Instead of starting in a field with the engines off and everyone lined up together like at a normal GNCC, here we're lining up in rows of 5, engines on, and we're starting on the paved blacktop road right in the middle of the Snowshoe Ski Resort Village. It is a scene unlike anything else in any race in the world. So let's get down to the starting line and see who takes the big money here at Snowshoe.
Time to go racing here in West Virginia. Like we said, we're starting out on pavement. There's David Knight. He's going to have a challenge from Strang, Whibley, Jarrett, Hawk, Glenn Carney, Nate Canny, and Kirk Caselli, all the guys that have been strong this year. They definitely don't want to see the Knighter come in and rain in their parade. We're lined up in order of points, so the top 5 in the series are on row 1. And it looks like Hawk on the Am Pro FMF Yamaha going to control into turn 1, but be careful, running on the pavement. Battling it out with Jarrett and Strang. Charlie Mullins there. Row 2 off and running. KTM boys battling it out with Glenn Carney as they're off and running into the woods. That was Canny getting the edge. Here comes row 3. That has some of our XC2 riders, Corey Buttrick and Caleb Russell. Both go down. Disaster for the Shock Doctor KTM riders. Won a bunch of races this year. Here comes the next row through, and more riders down. Definitely a different scenario than these guys are used to, running on pavement. Knight is in the next group. Mike Brown, former motocrosser, leads them. Knight comes through next, but that'll give you an idea of how much ground Knight will have to make up. Paul Whibley leading the way right now with Hawk in tow, and this is what it's really all about at Snowshoe. Don't let the paved road fool you. Hawk already struggling back there, and it looks like Strang bulldogs his way into the number 2 spot. Barely even see Hawk by those trees, and Mullins down as well. And look at this. Nathan Canny coming from row 2 gets around Hawk and Mullins. Now there is adjusted time as Mullins gets back on the bike. Hawk as well. Here comes Kirk Toselli through. Wow. Lots of ground loss for Hawk. That's kind of been the story of his season. Look at that. Jason Thomas from the XC2 class goes around Hawk also. Looks like Whibley going to try to extend the lead here in one of the faster sections of the track. It's an area where you can rest after battling your way through those rocks and roots. Strang in second. These are the two battling for the championship. They would love to make it a private duel for the win today, but they know that Knight will be back there, and Nate Canny sure seems fired up today. There's Jimmy Jarrett in third, staying with Strang. Now, it's worth mentioning there's adjusted time here. Knight won't have to necessarily pass Strang or Whibley to get the lead. He will have adjusted time, but still that means he has to pass all those riders to even get close to them. Looks like Strang is taking the lead as Whibley comes through in second. It's been a pretty difficult section of racetrack for most people. Nate Canny on the move up to third. And he's got adjusted time inside. Uh-oh! Here's Knight battling Mullins. He's on the move. Stay tuned. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am, Rocky Mountain ATV MC, Yamaha, and Honda Generators, the official generator of Racer TV. Welcome back to Snowshoe. Josh Strang, the young Australian, leads at the ski resort in West Virginia, and what difficult terrain these riders have to deal with. It's worked out for him so far. Uh-oh, that's not Whibley on the Kawasaki in second, it's Knight, and he has made up a lot of ground in a short amount of time. There's the Kawasaki boys, Whibley and Jarrett. They've gotten back around Canny, and Mullins, oh, he has had a rough day today. He goes down again. He's been fast when he's been on two wheels, and that's the second time we've seen him down. And now Hawk, who had his trouble early in the race. But Hawk, the veteran, he is the oldest man in the XC1 Pro class. He knows how to make a comeback. And speaking of comebacks, David Knight in the lead for how long? Josh Strang gets by him, but we're in the pits. I would be shocked that Knight has made up this much ground this early, but he made a trademark of doing it in the 2 years that he dominated this series and won the title. And here comes Knight. Strang's going to beat him out of the pits. Now, Strang is a full factory FMF Makita Suzuki team to help him out. Looks like Jarrett going to pull into the Kawasaki pits next. Help from the folks at Geico and Monster Energy. And here's Mullins in the Suzuki pit. So Mullins making up ground, in fact. And Whibley has dropped all the way back to fourth. Here comes Canny heading over to Shock Dr. KTM. Mullins, great run through the pits. He's going to make up some more ground. And he's on a comeback tour. But what I was going to say about Knight, he's got a completely makeshift pit crew. That is a full privateer effort. He's got his buddy Bart Hayes helping him out, and his girlfriend, Tara Geiger, who's actually a professional women's motocross racer. That's Knight's pit crew, so he might lose some time when it's time to refuel, but he can make it up on the track. Jarrett now up to third, through the forest. And Whibley back into fourth. You would think the Axeman really thrive in these rough conditions, but he says actually growing up in New Zealand, he's more used to the wide open fast stuff, and it's the slower, tighter technical terrain that he's had to learn since moving to the US. This type of terrain here, that's Knighter's specialty. The slow, technical, almost trials-like riding. He's very good in that, but Strang is able to keep pace. Now remember, Knight's further ahead than he looks because he has adjusted time on his side, but I think Strang wants to run with him. Jarrett now duking it out with Mullins. Got to be impressed. Mullins has struggled at this race in the past and had some crashes earlier, but he's making up ground. And we go back to the XC2 division. Jason Thomas, the kid out of Wales, has been so strong, so fast this year in XC2, but he's yet to win a race. Could today be the day? Hear the radio chatter on the side of the racetrack with our man Bjorn Hamrick, the lieutenant trail boss, radioing in to the infield what's going on the racetrack, and it's that Strang is keeping Knighter in sight. Knight now charging through one of the fast sections. He's so aggressive and really so skilled. A lot of people believe Knight's fast because he's bigger and stronger than the other riders, but he rarely needs to use that size and strength because he is so technically precise. Now here we go, a very interesting section. This is over 1,000-foot climb at elevation from the bottom of this power line road all the way up to the top. And Knight uses that to dust out Strang. But it doesn't deter the young man that much, staying right with him as they work their way back to the top of the ski resort, 4,141 feet elevation. And here's the battle behind them. Look at this freight train. You got Jarrett, Mullins, Whibley, and Hawk is now back into it. He's on the move, and so are we. Stay with us. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am, Rocky Mountain ATV MC, Yamaha, and Honda Generators, the official generator of Racer TV. Back to the action, David Knight in the lead. You hear the radio chatters. Josh Strang trying to stay on his rear wheel. And Strang makes a mistake. Oh, can he keep the bike upright? Barely. And this is where Knight is so dangerous. This trials-like very technical terrain. He just does not make mistakes, no matter how hard he pushes. We've got a big lead back to Jarrett here in third, who's duking it out with Mullins. This area is so tough. Tree roots, huge boulders. Jarrett able to muscle that Kawasaki over it. Same thing with Mullins on the FMF Makina machine. Knight going to take some advice from the fans, figuring out the best way through this mud hole. And they approve of his style. Look at Strang, keeping him honest. Man, those ruts are deep. He manages to get through. And looks like Whibley now has moved up into third. Time for our Rocky Mountain Spotlight. We'll be right back. Rocky Mountain now offers a full line of Polysport plastic for motorcycles, including front and rear fenders, number plates, radiator shrouds, chain guides, headlights, and complete kits. Polysport not only offers replacement plastic, but they offer additional quality and innovation. Let's start with the fenders. Kits start at $17.99. KTM fender and side panel one-piece combo is $44.99. Front and rear fenders are available in a variety of colors, and they're all produced with durable gloss propylene. That's DGB technology that provides a perfect OEM quality injection molded fit. Also got Polysport radiator scoops. Check these out, $36.99 starting price. They're also produced with injection molded DGP, provide a perfect quality OEM fit, pre-drilled for perfect mounting. They are an exact replica of OEM plastic. Then we've got the Polysport IPD radiator scoop starting at $54.99. The in-molded plastic decals fuses the graphics onto the plastic parts as an alternative to adhesive stickers, so they're longer lasting. The IPD system will not crack, peel, fade, or come off the plastic. The DGP injection molding assumes they're durable and they have a perfect OEM fit. Let's throw in some Polysport side panels. They retail for $36.99. That includes both side panels with several color options available. And of course, they're made with durable gloss polypropylene. And there's the complete replica plastic kit for $109.99. Produced with injection molded technology, it's a perfect OEM fit, and that includes a rear fender, front fender, side panels, radiator scoops, and a number plate. Rocky Mountain ATV MC is the leading online seller of ATV and motorcycle tires, parts, accessories, and apparel. With an industry-leading website, free shipping on orders over $99 in the continental U.S., and a huge inventory of in-stock items, you'll get the products you need at the prices you want shipped quickly to your door. Visit their website, RockyMountainATVMC.com for more, or call 1-800-272-6329 for a free catalog. All right, we're back on top. An odd racetrack here as we see Knight's already in the pits getting fuel, and we're waiting on Strang to come in. It's a 20-mile track, but the pits are right in the middle of the loop, so you can go 10 miles and pit and then 10 miles and pit again if you needed to. This is the second stop for both these guys. Strang gets the lead momentarily. Here comes Knight. A little hot coming into that corner of the pavement, but he gets the lead back. And he takes a look over his shoulder trying to figure how far out in front of the Suzuki rider he can get. But Strang has to be building confidence, keeping him in sight. Stay tuned. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am, Rocky Mountain ATV MC, Yamaha, and Honda Generators, the official generator of Racer TV. David Knight distancing himself from Josh Strang late in the race. Wow, leaping to the top of that hill. Strang still trying to keep him in sight. We're trying to find him back here. Wait a minute. We just found him and he's off the track. The fan's going to help him up. Oh, this is disaster. Now Strang has to worry about points. He's got to try to get his bike out of this mess. He has the lead on Paul Whibley. That's the rider he's battling in points. He's trying to get the bike up, trying to get started. He lost a lot of ground. I have no idea how he ended up that far off the course, but that gives you an idea what these ruts and this mud and these rocks and tree roots will do. Now look at Whibley back here in third. That's the rider that Strang is battling in the championship chase. Strang needs to beat Whibley today. He really doesn't have to worry about Knight, although he'd love to have $10,000. Here comes Nathan Canny. He is in fourth. He's got Mullins on his tail. They're going to battle probably all the way down to the wire. What a rough day it's been for Mullins. But look at that. Nice line. Challenging Canny. Strang still right there. The white flag is out. We're on the last half of the last lap. The final 10-mile section. How many riders have we seen get tripped up here? Now even Knight having trouble. And that's where the size and strength comes in handy. He just manhandles that bike, pushes it, takes a look over his shoulder and sees Josh Strang's not there. He can keep on sailing. So it's looking good for Knight. Strang, meanwhile, thinking about points. Still, I'm sure he wants that big grand prize to win this thing. Now, Knight has said he's not going to race any more GNCCs this year. Maybe he'll stop by for one or two, but he probably won't be at the next round. So they'll let him take this momentum. It's really meaningless. They'd love to have the money, but it's really about points. David Knight handling the toughest conditions in the GNCC series. That's just non-stop rocks and roots. The mud's not super deep, but throw in the boulders at the bottom of that, you could very easily lose the machine. Look at Strang just getting bucked and bounced around here, trying to maintain traction, maintain momentum. And all the while, remember, this is 3 hours. These guys have got to be tired, and the focus, the mental fatigue to keep at it without making mistakes. That's the true challenge here. Strang able to muster up enough to keep going, keep trudging. Whibley looks to be solid now in third. He was battling with Jarrett, Mullins, Canny. Hawk, we have heard, has sailed off a ridge and broke the motorcycle. He's out of the race. And also his teammate Thad Duvall, who was on fire here last year, broke his throttle. So more bad luck for Thad, the rookie, who has had a terrible run of misfortune. And here's Jason Thomas, has been leading XC2 all day. Corey Buttrick and Caleb Russell down early, but it didn't matter. This kid was on fire, and you know he wanted to go and try to win this overall on his 250cc machine and get the money. Not going to happen with this guy around. David Knight pushing forward, headed for home. And David Knight's return for GNCC is a good one and a rich one. In fact, he's pulling away from us on our ATV. He's going that fast. David Knight is going to win at Snowshoe 2007, 2008, and now 2009. And he's got a big cash purse behind it as well. And wait a minute, Whibley is in second. We're getting a report that Josh Strang has run into a deer on the last lap and might not even be able to finish. Nathan Canny going to inherit third. A wild shakeup in the GNCC series standings unless Strang can nurse it to the finish line. Podium finish for Nate Canny.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an up and down year. It's been a frustrating year at times, but like I've said to everybody and like I've actually been doing, it just is what it is. It happens to everybody. You got to take the good with the bad and the bad with the good, and I just kept going home and kept doing my job and working, and now it's sort of paying off. It's no win, but it's a step in the right direction, and so now in the summer I can, have some more motivation to keep pushing and hopefully do better at the end of the year.
All right, Strang picks it up. He finishes in sixth. Unbelievable, colliding with a deer. He had second, locked up. Let's go to Whibley.
Yeah, I got a pretty good start. I was actually got past Barry and I think it was Jimmy early on and led the first part of the lap. And then me and Jimmy kind of got stuck in a mud hole, and I think Josh and Knight got past us both then. and they kind of took off on a really fast pace, and they were riding really well. And I just kind of was in my own little race all day. I think I was with Barry and Jimmy a couple of times, and just managed to work my way back up into third place, and I was kind of in no man's land in third place. But then some bad luck with Josh, I think, on the last lap, and he, I think, from what I've heard, might have had a dare. So good for me in the points, a little bit bad luck for Josh. But.
Well, that's the difference. Whibley is going to go into the GNCC break with a points lead. Strang thought he had him covered. And how about this guy, the Nighter?
Yeah, because I didn't know what was going to happen, to be honest. I spent maybe 2 hours on the bike, and everything was last minute. I haven't ridden all week, only for like 2 hours, and the last couple of weeks I haven't really ridden much because just sorting everything out with BMW and what I was going to do and stuff. So it's hard, you don't know how the other guys are riding, how you're going to get along. So to come and to win, and have as much fun as I did, it's awesome.
How about that? David Knight wins it, and Jason Thomas does take the XC2 win. Great job for the kid from Wales. That'll help him in the point standings, too. Let's go to our Yamaha race recap. Barry Hawk put his Yamaha up front early, but there were a couple rows to watch here. Not just the front row with the top 5 in points, as Josh Strang led those guys early on, but also David Knight coming from the back. He eventually got around Strang and the rest, but Strang wouldn't let him go. He kept close throughout this thing, keeping the heat on Knight. No one else was able to run Knight's pace. Even Paul Whibley was a couple minutes back, but Whibley would take advantage of some misfortune later on. Jason Thomas, unstoppable force in XC2. We had a great battle for what we thought would be fourth between Canny and Mullins, but then Josh Strang hits a deer on the last lap. Knight goes uncontested to victory. That moves Whibley to second and Canny up to third. So David Knight, in a guest appearance, shows why he's the GNCC champ. He's got some money in the bank. Congratulations to David Knight. For everyone here, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching at Snowshoe.